Hi, welcome to the Empowered Parenting Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into something that affects every single one of us and shows up in parenting daily. Emotions, not just your child's emotions, but your own. And here's the thing. Most of us were never really taught how emotions work. We were just told to calm down, be quiet, or toughen up. So in this episode, we're breaking down the basics, how emotions work in the body, what they're here to tell us, how to recognize them, and how to support yourself and your child through them. Let's get into it. Emotions aren't just feelings floating around in the air. They're actual physical reactions triggered by your thoughts. Think of emotions like hunger. Hunger is a physical signal that your body sends when it needs food. Emotions are the same. They are physical signals that your nervous system sends in response to something that you're thinking or perceiving. When you have a thought like, I don't feel safe, your body responds with an emotion like fear, panic, or anxiety. That emotional response happens in your body just like a growling stomach when you're hungry. Emotions are messengers. They're how your body communicates what it needs or what it's experiencing. They're not bad. They're not problems. They're just communication. Your nervous system is the control center for how you experience and process emotion. At the core of this is your autonomic nervous system, the part of your body that runs on autopilot. It controls your heart rate, your breathing, your digestion, and your safety and stress response. The ANS has two branches. Sympathetic nervous system, your gas pedal, kicks in when you feel threatened. Think, fight, flight, freeze. It raises your heart rate, tenses your muscles, and shuts down digestion. Emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety live here. Then there's the parasympathetic nervous system, your brake. It activates when you feel safe. It slows your heart rate, deepens your breath, and helps you digest and connect. This is where you find calm, joy, and emotional regulation. And at the center of all of this is the brain. The brainstem handles basic survival and keeps your body alive. The amygdala is your emotional alarm system. It triggers the stress response when your body senses danger. The prefrontal cortex is the part responsible for reasoning, logic, and self-control. But it only comes online when you feel safe. When you're stressed, the amygdala hijacks the show. Logic goes offline. Your body reacts before your brain can even explain what's happening. The vagus nerve, which runs from your brainstem all the way down through your body, is like a calming superhighway. It connects your brain to your heart, lungs, and gut. And when it's activated through breathing, co-regulation, or movement, it sends a powerful message. I'm safe. But here's a game changer. Emotions, when allowed to run their course, only last about 90 seconds. Yep. If you don't resist it, avoid it, or fuel it with more fearful thoughts, the emotion peaks and fades in less than a minute and a half. But most of us aren't tapped to allow it. Instead, we distract, stuff it down, or spiral. And when that happens, the emotions loop and grow. So remember, emotions aren't permanent. If you can pause and feel, they'll move through you. So let's keep it simple. There are 6 basic emotions that we can start with. Joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. Think of them as the primary colors of the emotion world. Every other emotion is some version or blend of these basic 6. When you're helping your child learn emotional literacy, or you're doing a little bit of work on your own, start here. Start simple. For example, instead of saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed, pause and ask, is this fear? Is this sadness? Is it anger? Try and pinpoint the exact basic emotion. And then as you get more versed in those, you can move on to the more complex language. So don't feel like you need to use the entire emotions wheel. That's a lot of words to start with. Just stick to the basic 6, then move on. All right. Now let's talk a little bit about anger and anxiety. They're a little special. We often use those emotions to mask some of our other emotions that feel a little more vulnerable. For many of us, those are the go-to emotions because they've been safe to access. Maybe we grew up in homes where crying wasn't okay, but getting mad was tolerated, or where anxiety got attention, but sadness didn't. So our brains have learned to mask more vulnerable emotions with ones that feel familiar. Instead of sadness, we lash out. Instead of fear, we spiral and worry. This is not a character flaw. It's a coping strategy. The more we allow ourselves to slow down and safely feel those quieter emotions, the easier they become to access in the future. So then there's suppressing versus processing. Suppressing sounds like snapping at your partner instead of crying, scrolling on your phone instead of sitting in discomfort, distracting your child instead of helping them feel seen. Oftentimes emotions feel uncomfortable. That's why we mask them. And so when our children bring up those emotions, we want to help them mask that too, because nobody wants to feel unsafe. Processing an emotion sounds like taking a deep breath and saying, this is sadness. I can feel it and it's safe. Letting the tears come without judgment, naming what your child is feeling and staying present. Processing emotions doesn't mean wallowing. It means allowing them to move through you. The first and most powerful thing that you could do when emotions start to come up is pause. That pause creates space between the emotion and the reaction. Space for breath, space for choice. Try saying, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What might this emotion be trying to tell me? And remind yourself, I am safe. I can feel this emotion and still be okay. Now, this is a tool that I teach to help parents and kids process emotions in a safe, grounded way. It's called the SIMPLE method. It's an acronym. A is the first step. Sometimes A takes a really long time because it's the beginning of something new and it takes a little while to learn. And it's the transition period. It stands for awareness. So the awareness might come after the emotion. Okay. And so there's a period of time where you'll start noticing the emotion after it has happened. And as you continue to try and be aware of when your emotions are happening, it'll start happening closer and closer to when the actual emotion is triggered. So that is the longest, but most important process. And all you have to do is just be aware of what is going on inside of you. And as you start doing it more regularly, you'll start recognizing it quicker. So A, awareness. Notice what you're feeling and what's happening around you. S is for safety. Remind yourself you're safe in the moment. I, identify. Name the core emotion: joy, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, or surprise. You'll start to feel them in your body. When you feel sadness, you feel it in the same part of your body every time. I feel it as a heaviness on my chest. And every time I start to feel sad, that heaviness starts in my chest. You'll start to recognize that in yourself. When you start seeing what anger feels like inside your body, you'll start to recognize those sensations in the same ways each time. And that's kind of getting to know yourself or helping your child get to know themselves. Where is that showing up in your body right now? And that is going to help you name which emotion it is you're actually feeling. M is for move. Let it move through you. You can cry, you can shake, you can breathe, you can talk, you can move. A lot of times, anger, fear will create energy in your body, and you want to express that through movements, push-ups, going for a run, jumping jacks. Getting that energy out. P is for pause. Before you start to interact with anyone else, pause. Take a moment before reacting or responding. L is for label. Let's put the word, let's say it out loud. Label what you're feeling. I am feeling sad. I am feeling anger. This is joy. This is sadness. Start simple. E is for empathize. Offer kindness to yourself or your child. Everybody feels emotions, and the safer we can feel when we have emotions, the easier they will be to feel them in the future. Use this with your child too. I see you're feeling mad. Your body is telling us something. I'm here. Let's breathe together. Let's do push-ups together. Let's talk about it together. Let me give you a hug, right? What does the situation call for? This is what co-regulation looks like, because when you're co-regulating, especially for small children, it needs to come from the body up because their prefrontal cortex is not developed enough to regulate themselves. They have to regulate their body first, and that's where you come in. You can use your calm. You can use your regulation to help regulate them. So my final thoughts here. Emotions are not a problem to fix. You might have felt unsafe feeling emotions when you were a child, and that will make it harder for you to experience your child having emotions. And that's okay. When you understand that and you start processing your own emotions and understanding that they are not connected to your child is feeling their own emotions. And because they are angry, does not make that mean that you are unsafe, even though being angry might have been unsafe when you were a child. Let's learn how to co-regulate by first learning how to regulate. Start with ourselves. Our emotions are not a problem to fix. They're messages to listen to. What is your body trying to tell you? You don't need to control them. You just need to stay with them. When you model this, your child learns to feel without fear. This work doesn't require perfection, just presence. Just be present and calm. That's easier said than done. I know. That's the goal. It's just present and calm. So this week, I invite you to choose one moment, just one, to pause, identify what you're feeling, and try to use one step of the A Simple method. If this episode helped you, share it with a friend, subscribe, or leave a review. It means so much. You can download the Empowered Parenting Starter Guide at kellyselzer.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time.